Welcome to episode 7 of Faking It. I talked to Toronto-based actress Ashley Comeau this week, who is the new science teacher Miss Badger on Family Channel's Degrassi Next Class. She's also a Second City main stage alumni and oh so much more. We're going to talk feeling like a fraud, acting, and improvising your way through life. Thanks for joining us, and here we go. So, how's it going?
Really well.
Good.
I couldn't be more tired.
Why? What did you do today?
Oh, today I filmed a teaser for the Canadian Film Centre for a wonderful project by Diana Francis. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it any more than that, but it's very
exclusive.
Funny and very silly and very clever. So we filmed that in the morning, and tonight I've got an improv show at Bad Dog.
Cool. Bad Dog Theatre here in Toronto. Very cool. Right on. So being an actress, you often fake your way through a lot of things, I bet, because being a character is ultimately faking something because you're not that person. You try to get as close as you can. But so since you're not that character and you're playing a role, do you agree that that's sort of the scenario of being an actor?
No.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay?
Oh, of course. You can disagree with me. Absolutely.
No, I think that it's a lot of people look at it as, oh, you're playing pretend, you're faking it. I think what you're doing is doing the Ashley version of the nighttime nurse or the Ashley version of the Russian maid. That's not my hit, but it was at a time. So you're bringing the best of your knowledge and the best of yourself, or how would you be in those scenarios? So yeah, the scenarios are definitely faked for sure. But I think the characters, the actors I admire anyway, are the characters that they bring themselves to it. Like you look at somebody like Robin Williams, he brought himself, I'm not buddies with him, he's for sure dead, but he brought, from what I saw, he brought himself to every role he had. And so he obviously wasn't a creepy guy who worked at a photo shop, but you saw him, and so you believed it.
Right.
And I think there's an element of faking. It's like next level faking. You're not faking it by being the actor or being the role, but you always think that you're a fraud. Not by playing these roles, but you're like, oh, I don't deserve to be here. There's this weird Canadian thing. Maybe it happens in America too, I have no idea. But it's this self-deprecating, oh, it should go to someone else. So that's the level of fraudulence. It's not like, I'm not a nurse. When I put on those scrubs, I'm a fucking nurse. Like I need 30 cc's of, I don't know, Xanax? Is that a thing? I don't know. But that's
probably
not. Probably not. Probably shouldn't pump that through your arm.
30 cc's stat. I need it.
Grey's Anatomy has taught me a lot, so I could probably fake my way through that.
Oh, like a surgery.
Yeah.
You don't, not on camera, like in a real hospital.
Episiotomy.
Do you know what that is?
No.
It's like a vagina thing.
Oh, God. Well, go for the jugular, I say.
Yeah.
No, the element of faking it comes in it's a transitional thing that some actors never finish. And some actors, when they get it, when they get over it, their career just kind of starts to pick up because they start to feel more comfortable with themselves.
Do you still feel that? Like, do you feel fraudulent when you've been cast in something? Do you feel like...
I got touches of stuff, for sure. I'm getting over it. I'm in my 30s now, where I'm just like, I don't give a shit. Okay, I love this. I'm doing what I should be doing. You either like me or you don't, and that's okay. I think that is a huge element.
Right.
In my 20s, it was all about, oh, you have to like me, and so that I'll get the role.
So you're too concerned about what everyone else is thinking, do you feel? And then now you're more like at home with what I got. Me, and that's probably just a bit of also a confidence thing too, because you've got a great list of things that you've done. So,
but yeah, I remember the first rehearsal sitting at Second City for writing our shows, and I just went, oh my god, what am I doing here? And my dream, that's what I'm fucking doing there. But at that time, I just kept thinking, they're gonna find out. Like, they're gonna...
Did you honestly feel that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
You thought they were just gonna realize and like shake their head and be like,
you know
we need to fire this person?
We got to get rid of this.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. But then you show up the second day and it's a little less. And then you get your first scene in a show and you're like, oh, no, that's all in my head. That's cognitive bullshit that shouldn't be there.
Just fades after time. So was that your ultimate, did you always feel that way, or was it when you got something so big like Second City?
That's a great question.
Or even if you're like, you know, you were in many plays before that, you're in many different things before that.
I faked my way with that fraudulence thing through lots of things, like being a tour guide in Manhattan. They're like, have you been to New York? I said, yes, I hadn't. Like, and I was able to do it. So it was fine in the end. But I was shitting bricks because I was lying. But I wanted the opportunity where you just take it. Right. Can you sing? Yes. And then you learn how to sing. Well, it's not that easy, but
yeah, you'd probably have a natural.
You got to have something going, and you got to study for sure. And studying is very important. But there's certain things like they're like, can you do ballet? I don't know if I could fake my way through that one.
Right. There's certain skills that might not be as easily.
Right. That I haven't trained at all in.
Right.
What else? What else did I do? That. Can you drive stick? I once lied to a guy about driving stick. I was like, yeah, I can drive stick. He's like, okay, you drive home. I'm going to have some beers.
Was this like that's a dangerous example.
Safety
first. I can drive a plane.
Yeah.
I can fly a plane. I can drive a bus. No problem.
Saw it on an airplane. Yeah, it looks great.
So with Second City, was that your ultimate? Like at the beginning of your career, you had gone like, you know, how did you find acting in the beginning? If you want to take us from that scenario onwards, yeah.
From Baby Comeau.
Yeah, Baby Comeau.
Baby Comeau wanted to act for a very long time, but I didn't know the words. Before I knew what the word of actor or acting was, I wanted to do it. But there's this famous video my mom will bring up every time she has one glass of Shiraz. Just one or half. Where my grandfather, I'm posing, like doing a really fun, cool pose. And my grandfather is videotaping my brother, who was brought home with
from the
cerebral
hospital.
palsy.
Oh, yeah.
So it's about him, but even then I needed to find my light and steal those moments. So you got to hustle, right? So I'm posing with some stuffed animals.
You just knew early on, you know. You just got to completely upstage people.
That's it. That's it, man. And he goes...
Step aside, brother.
He goes, yeah, you almost died. Get over it. I'm here. Like, no, just kidding.
I'm important in this situation.
I have opinions. I'm 4.
I'm 4.
Like... He goes, what do you want to be? And they said, I want to be a mannequin. I want to be a lady mannequin. Because that to me was an actor. Like
a
standing
mannequin?
in front of people and people looking at you. People always look at mannequins. And I was like, oh yeah, that just happens in the movies. You see mannequins. And I watched a lot of Today's Special. So it's probably that.
It was actual mannequin. Mannequin, what?
I want to be a mannequin. So that was from 4, and then I was in school plays and choirs and musicals in the community. And then when I went to Mayfield at Performing Arts High School in Ontario, I got into the drama program and loved it so much and was fucking crushed when I wasn't cast in Crucible. So I'm like, I already think I'm a witch, and I already think I'm an actor. And you're not going to give me Abigail? Fuck you. And I remember just scratching about it in my drama journal. You had to do those for projects. Just scratching. And I wanted to write it in blood and show them. I didn't.
I'm a witch.
I'm a witch. Like, I've seen The Craft. Like, I know what's up.
I've seen The Craft twice
on
VHS.
And I'm only 13. Yeah. And
I'm going to have a seance later.
Light as a feather, stiff as a board. Light as a feather, stiff as a board. And Mr. McKinnon, my grade 9 drama teacher, just wrote, what's for you won't pass you by. And the very next day, it was improv sign up for improv team. It was called Force 8 back then. And I was like, oh, okay, fine, I'll put my name. And I fell in love with improv. I found it when I was in grade 9. And I was on the team. We competed nationally for 5 years, up until OAC. Then I did it in university and college, and then moved to the city after a breakup and just started doing it for realsies and getting paid. So
Did you your schooling after high school? What kind of what did you do in university and college?
Oh, sure. I went to York. It was horseshit. I do not recommend that BFA at all.
The acting BFA, yeah.
They decide what you're good at, to which I go, cool, but I studied this exact same thing in grade 9. If you're going to accept, just suck my dick, really, York, suck my dick. As much as I could shit on York and Second City shows, I did.
Yeah.
And, wonderful people have come out of there, but they were wonderful people before going there.
Yeah.
I don't think York has produced much as far as, talented people who weren't already talented. So I dropped into
There's
that.
also an auditioning process after you've auditioned initially to get in. You have to audition again to be in different streams, and then they can completely kick you out. And you're like, oh, I've had a year of a BFA program that affords me nothing in the real world,
absolutely nothing,
and I'm on the street now
because they decided I'd be a better tech director.
Yeah, but then didn't accept you again after this. It's just a stupid format. Stupid. So you left when you halfway through that?
No, I stayed the whole year. I pretty much. The only class I really liked taking was my science fiction class.
You're an elective?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I took psychology, French, and science fiction. And science fiction was so awesome. You learned about the state of the world through literature. It was great and nerdy. Then I worked for 2 years at a restaurant and got pretty sad and did musicals, which made me happy. But I'm like, I don't want to work at a restaurant forever. Mm-hmm. No offense to people who do. It just wasn't it
wasn't your thing.
My calling. And then I was like, I'm going to audition for musical theater. I'm going to go to George Brown if they have it, or did they have it? Sheridan definitely had it. Mm-hmm. And then in Ontario, you could apply for 3 schools for $65 online. The internet was a huge thing back then. It was just coming out. It was great. And
for the price of $65, you could have a future.
$65 sell your pantaloons for this one, kids. So I thought, okay, if I don't get into that, what's something that I could do? So I know I could be a funeral director. I was obsessed with 6 Feet Under. I've never been a stranger to death.
Thanks, HBO.
Thanks, HBO. Really fucked me up. And I sadly had dealt with a lot of death in my life, so I can deal with it. And the body's not my hit, but the living, I know how to deal with grieving people. Right. And that was an attractive, lucrative thing to me. Mm-hmm. So I thought, okay, the 2 wisest choices that go together, musical theater and funeral directing. But C, and the campus was right by my parents' house. C for comedy came before F for funeral. And so I didn't even go to the musical auditions. I didn't even go. I just went to that. I'm like, that's what I want to do. Humber College has a program. And I got into that.
And it's a very good program. It's a great program. Our last, so you were in class, just for people who were listening to the last episode, Paul Lillikis actually went to the same program with you. Yeah. So Paul was Paulie. So you guys were in, he was talking about that there was it's a pretty well-known comedy program. So that was what you were in as well, right?
Yeah. I got to work with Second City alum, Yuck Yucks alum, Just for Laughs alum, wonderful people, very smart, talented people and teachers.
Was that, sorry, just to interrupt, was that a moment that you, when you're going through the list of courses that are, or the list of possibilities that you're going to apply to, and did you just feel at that moment you saw comedy, and was it just sort of
I was willing there to throw away my love for musical theater, and I was doing musicals at the time.
Yeah.
Just without even thinking. It's yep, okay, bye.
Yeah, so you had a little bit of a spirit whisper, your soul went.
My insides went hot, and I'm like, whew,
right.
Comedy.
Oh.
Weirdest audition to get in that school too.
What was it?
You have to prepare a piece or whatever, and you wrote something or a sketch. I don't remember what I had to do, but I remember performing it to Larry Horowitz, the stand-up teacher, and he was on his MSN Messenger. Again, the internet was huge back then. MSN. And eating meat sticks. So he'd pay attention to me and then swivel around in his chair and just type some shit.
Like a jerky stick?
Like a
Mennonite
pogo. Sausage sticks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what products. You mean. Yeah, a very specific cured meat.
And then I finished and I went, okay, great. And I kept trying to get his attention back, and he would swivel around.
Engaging, yeah. Oh, was he just like not at all paying attention?
No, no, he was typing on his head and eating meat sticks, and then he turned
While
around.
you performed for him?
Yeah.
What a terrible audience member.
But he said, this is what it's like.
Oh, so he's saying like if you're you're standing at a restaurant and you're doing some, people are cling-clanging, eating, drinking shit, you have to just deal with the backs of people's heads.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he didn't tell you that until the audition was done. So you're like, well, fuck you then.
You're like, you're the worst.
But then.
Yeah.
I think I got the phone call as I was on my way to the car. They're like, you're in the program.
Oh, yeah.
Or the day after. It was really, really
Very
soon turnaround. And Humber changed my life. I met Second City alum there. They're like, you need to go to Second City. Met them there.
Did you go to Second City right out of school?
I was doing 2 schools at the same time.
2 schools at the same time?
Yeah, the Second City Conservatory.
Right.
And Humber College.
Okay.
At the same time.
And Second City Conservatory, you have to audition, and it's a big
yeah.
process, and it's important and everything.
Yeah.
And so from the conservatory, you got onto the main stage, or how does that process work? Because I think that's a bit of a mystery to some people.
Sure. So the Second City offers tons of classes. I currently teach there. It's a great time. I love it. I really do.
Are you teaching improv currently?
I'm teaching conservatory class. So the
conservatory, yeah.
Full cycle.
Mm-hmm. You're back.
I'm back. And improv. Yeah, improv writing and improvisation. So there's levels A through E, and anybody can take those. You could do it to feel more confidence in office meetings or public speaking, or to let off some steam, get away from the kids, or to sharpen your acting skills on camera if they make you improvise. You don't have to be an actor to take those.
No.
But we teach you acting things in those classes.
And so many people are in those classes. It's so cool to see.
Yeah.
How many, like, you get a person who's a teacher is like, I love teaching, but I really hate giving presentations to a big class, but I like working one-on-one. Or you have somebody who's like 50 and was like, you did improv when I was a kid. Or you have, kids right out from school. Like, I always felt, I did a writing class there, that I loved the fact that so many different people go to those classes. It makes it so much more interesting.
Because you're learning stuff and you're constantly asking the question, what would I do? Based on their actions, stories, characters, where did that character come from, et cetera, et cetera. So there's A through E. And after that, there's a plethora of programs. There's long form, there's so many, like there's character intensives, there's crazy stuff like that, which is super fun. And then there's the conservatory program, which you have to audition to get into. And that is a year-long program that you're with the same 12 people for a year. In level 1, you're improvising and getting into a groove with the group. Level 2, you're doing archive material that maybe Steve Carell wrote. So you learn how to act the scenes and learn the timing and learn what it feels like to get those laughs with scenes that are tried and tested. In level 3, you learn premises and you start writing through improvisation with POV and satire and all that kind of stuff. And then 4, 5, 6, you're writing with that same group to create a show that you'll present at the end of the year, which is a massive deal. So I did the conservatory, and then I was doing shows all around the city in the GTA, and just working. And then I did a cruise ship for Second City, where I traveled and got to perform on the high seas, which was incredible.
So, yeah, sounds like a very once-in-a-lifetime thing. Well, you could be doing it again, but I just mean like that's an amazing opportunity.
Equal parts college and jail. Because you can't leave.
Oh, right.
But
of course.
It's a fun party.
Yeah.
But if you're not in the mood to party, it feels like jail. Mm-hmm. When you have a migraine or you're seasick.
And you're like, it's bright outside right now. What the hell?
Yeah.
I don't want to drink and be funny.
Yeah. But it was really cool because you learned celebrity. No one knew who you were on Sunday and Monday, but if your show was on Tuesday, after that, no one would leave you alone. Ow.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I hit myself. Sorry.
I hit myself.
Oh,
I hit myself.
You could be in the bathroom and people are trying to tell you jokes as you're peeing, and you're like, I loved it because the crazy characters and stories that came out of that are invaluable. So I did the ships, and then I missed the general auditions that Second City has every year, and I was freaking out, being like, I have to wait a whole year to audition. Oh God. So
Is it just because the cruise went on longer than? Okay.
1 week longer, by 1 week. So I emailed the producer who I knew and just kind of said, if you're doing callbacks, I'd love to be a part of those. He goes, you know what, just contact me when you're home. Okay. And then I got main stage out of that.
Beautiful.
Which is not normal.
No.
But was extraordinary. It was such a wonderful experience.
So just to give people an idea, do people audition for main stage every year without a veil of getting on?
Yes.
So what did that sort of mean to you in that moment? And is that what you're talking about when you're saying you showed up and you're like, oh, this is a mistake?
Not a mistake, but I'm like, they're going to find out.
Okay, yeah.
I'm faking it. Or I'm not where I need to be, because I never did the education company where you tour schools. I never did the touring company where you tour Canada. I just went from the boat, which is a fantastic learning experience, but
isolated. And
I didn't write anything.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I did archive material and I did improv, right? So that improv I already knew, and the archive was wonderful. We performed to 1,000 people. Mm-hmm. And it was great.
But the other education program that other people might have done, that was writing material.
You write your own stuff and you present it to kids in schools around the country.
And those people were auditioning as well with you, but it's like They didn't get it and you did.
Well, they
some might have. Or
generally, you would get into education company. You'd hone your skills there. Then you'd get into the touring company. So you perform on the resident stage in Toronto on Monday nights, and then you would understudy for the main stage show. That performs 6 nights a week, 8 shows a week. So you just rise the ranks in a different way. And I went, whoop! And people were like, who the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So there was this weird pressure that I put on myself that I felt guilty, and I felt, well, I'm not in Tourco, right? I'm taking this away from somebody who is in Tourco. But then I thought, no, I've worked for the better part of a decade, on this stuff. It just came about in a very different way.
Mm-hmm. And then cool. So you had the processes of you just continue on writing, you continue on performing. And what's that like? If people don't know the format of Second City, there is a show that's put on for X amount of months that you've been a part of writing and stuff.
Sure. So let's look at a calendar year. Okay,
yeah.
We'll break it up that way. So from January to June, you have one show, and from the July to December, you have another. Let's say. So. In January, you start writing a new show, but you do it through improvisation. So a Second City show is an hour and a half of sketch comedy, tried, tested, and true, written by the actors that you see. And then after that, there's a 20-minute to 30-minute set of improv where they just blow off steam, do crazy characters, and make it all up in front of your eyes. Love it. But when you go into process to write the show, you use that improv set to do premise prov. So you pitch ideas to make new scenes for the show. So the audience watching that improv set, if they like it, it has a chance to be in the show. If they don't like it, it's gone forever. Mm-hmm. So you have to not be tired. You got to be on your A game. You got to sell this premise. You got to get the who, what, where out right at the gate. You got to write through improv, which is a very different skill. Put it this way, every other theater company in the world gives the actors the scripts, they memorize it, then they open. Second City improvises, then writes they improvise
and they build it around
tweaking it. The opening happens, and then they actually sit down and write the scripts.
It's very different.
So what you would do is, if you have this in January, if you have that 100% old show, mm-hmm. you would extract scenes and place these new scenes in between scenes that work. So even if that scene needs a little bit more fine tuning, it's surrounded by 2 things will work. And so they keep doing that until it goes, 70% old material, 30% new. 50-50. 30% old material, 70% new.
Right.
So you get to practice these scenes and write them for about 75 times until they're perfect. And you've cut the fat, and you watch the tapes, and you look at what people laugh at. And so you're writing based on reaction and improv and that moment. And it's really cool.
And that audience. Because
it might not work.
Yeah, you can get a whole school bus of nuns come in, and then what happens?
That sexual energy scene.
That was a downer.
Yeah, so it's a very, very difficult process, but so rewarding.
And how many years were you on the main stage?
I understudied for one person as I took over her role. She left. And I did her role for a couple of months, and then I wrote 3 reviews there with different casts, and so I was there for just under 2 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was incredible. So to answer your question, Second City was the big game for me. Yeah. And to get it, I was just like, they're going to find out. They're going to find out that I should be in funeral directing.
So you have a bit of an... I should have gone to F on that list of courses. So you have a bit of an imposter syndrome kind of thing going on in the beginning. But do you feel that less and less over time now that...
Yes.
Because you're acting in different ways now too. Do you want to talk about some of your roles that you have currently, like for TV? And
Sure. I wrote and produced for YTV for a bit. I am the new science teacher on Degrassi Next Class, which is pretty awesome.
Next class, not next generation. Next class.
That was a huge thing for me.
Yeah, what's that like? Because you would have grown up watching
Degrassi.
Yeah.
I was pinching myself the entire time. And the only thing I faked there was being calm. Because my insides were on fire. I was like, holy shit, Drake was here.
I thought you were going to say something different, but Drake was there, yes. In the
Joey Jeremia, because we used to watch them in French class.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Miss OD used to pop those on.
Oh, okay. Drake in the wheelchair days.
Oh, bravo, Drake, bravo. And yeah, it was amazing. And the kids are so much cooler than I have ever been or will ever be. Like the actors who play the kids are so cool.
What do you mean?
They're just cool. They dress well. They're well read. They know all the electronic devices. Like I sound like a mother right now. Don't have any kids.
The electronic
They
devices.
know how to work the TV. Like they're cute and they're savvy and they're people. Mm-hmm. Like they're not. I was an asshole at 14. These guys are awesome.
Right.
And they're not all 14, but you know what I mean.
Teenagers nonetheless.
Yeah. They're really cool. And I'm really excited to see where they go as people. Now I sound old. Okay, cool.
What's your favorite scene that you've done on Degrassi so far?
I love the writing of the show so much because I get to be this like...
Yeah, like what's your character?
I get to be a nerdy science teacher who essentially tells dad jokes, like puns, but she's just oblivious. Like, but she cares and she loves science and she just wants everyone to love science. And the clothes, like some of the clothes are like, oh, she figured out fashion today, and other of the clothes are like, oh, bless, like she's trying. And I just every department, and every team works so closely to create every aspect of the characters. So when you get to perform them based on the writing, the words, the costume, the jewelry, the actions, everything, it's just so awesome. What's my favorite scene? I got, this is going to make me sound pervy, but there was an episode that you'll have to watch on Netflix. It's amazing.
Is that already out right now, or is it coming?
It's on Netflix on the States right now. Okay. It's on the Family Channel here.
Okay.
Yes. Where there's an accident that happens and I have to help a child deal with the embarrassment of trying to impress a boy. That's all I'll say. And it was so much fun. And it was the first time I had met this actress, and she was such a pro, so good. I'm like, hi, I'm going to be taking off your pants. Is that okay? So I'll leave it at that. Whatever that sounds like to you, go check it out. It's amazing.
On the Family Channel.
Yes.
I always find that any small part of improv, like I'm not an improver, but...
You're really funny. You're a natural. Improv is just a conversation, and you're a really good listener and a communicator.
Thank you. But I mean in the way that I've never been on an improv team. I've watched a whole lot of improv. I love improv. I find it so cool and funny, and probably in my head just imagine doing it. But I think that the small amount that I've done, I think that even acting as it is, but improv specifically, works into my daily life so much. Mm-hmm. And that's, a part of just being on your toes. Some people aren't like that. And how do you find that improv fits into your life when you're not exclusively doing improv? This isn't improv on the stage. This is like, you're doing, how does that fit into your life?
I mean, some people, myself included, can be quite slow sometimes.
Okay.
Like you could throw a football at their head and they just look at you. So if you use the tenets of improv in that situation where you're like, and nothing happens and you're not given any gifts, you have to then switch motives and switch subtext and go, okay, I might have to do a little bit more heavy lifting.
I'm a little bit of the leader in this.
No problem.
Right.
Now I know my role. I'm watching, I'm observing, I'm communicating, I'm listening to you. Today's my day. Today's my day to carry you. And tomorrow you'll carry me. Improv is based on yes and a lot. A lot of people will talk about that tenet where we're going to the zoo. You'll be like, yeah, we're going to the zoo. And let's pack a lunch too. So you're not only just saying, yeah, we're going to the zoo, you're bringing adding an idea as well.
Right.
And that's like collaboration in business. That's collaboration in art. That's collaboration in what you're having for dinner. Like,
relationship,
pizza?
anything.
Yeah. Let's get pizza and then have beer. Yeah. And then ice cream after. Yeah. And then not work out. Yeah. So it's often about the relationship and improv has saved my life, changed my life. It sounds super culty, but the best things in my life are from improv. Or I've been able to, I'm going to say manipulate, even though that's a negative connotation word. I've been able to manipulate things to be better for myself. Like, listen to yourself too. It's not only about other people. Mm-hmm. How does that make you feel? Your character would respond to that on stage. Why are you denying it?
Okay.
Why are you going to let this asshole toxic up your life? Like, listen, communicate, release. And that's okay too. So
it's incredibly therapeutic.
Oh my God. I played my ex's mother for about a year after we broke up.
Really?
It was this character that came out, and she caused me so much pain, and I couldn't afford therapy. And it was a funny character because she was specific, and because I wasn't dropping the tenets of improv as well. I could pop her on anytime I wanted. I don't play her anymore, but it helped me cope with it. The way music would for somebody, or painting or cooking or whatever.
Yeah, you're confronting those sort of things right on. Like,
you can be the demon.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wow. Very cool. Okay. Awesome. So there's something that's happened recently. You've put on a great show that I attended. And I'd love for us to talk a little bit about that. Sure. Just to hear more about what you're up to. So this was regarding Syrian resettlement in Canada. Mm-hmm. And so we just chat about that for a bit. Tell me what it is, what it's about, how you're involved.
My agent posted something online about a family that she was looking to sponsor to come here with a group, Project Toronto Welcomes, through Ryerson. And she was like, donate if you can. So I gave $10, but then I couldn't stop thinking about it. And I'm like, I don't have any more money. Like, I'm a Canadian actor, for God's sake, I don't have any money. But I kept thinking about it, and just Comeau bringing it down. That little boy who washed up on the shore,
yes, right,
is in and around the same age as my nephew, and it really humanized the situation for me. And it was a cyclical thinking that I just couldn't shake, because kids and families and somebody's daughter and somebody's son, somebody's mother, when you're putting kids in, or people, adults, in wheelchairs on a fucking rubber dinghy, sending them across the sea because that's the better option, that's the only option.
There's just a level of desperacy that you probably I've never felt. Like, I've never felt that desperacy.
Never.
It's so extreme that you realize, like, what could possibly be going on to make people do these kinds of things. Mm-hmm. Out of that desperacy, and you realize that it's so heavy. It's super heavy.
And I couldn't, and I'm like, yeah, it's $10, but what else?
Yeah.
What else? And like in 2012, when Carly Heffernan and I were castmates,
it's another Second City alum, yeah.
When we were both at Second City together, we were writing a scene about Syria then, and it's still relevant today. Mm-hmm. The same scene without changing. Mm-hmm. And it's worse now. Like, it, bleh. And the premise of the scene, it's called That Sucks. This roommate is watching the news. The other roommate comes home. Are you okay? Oh shit, what's wrong with you? Oh, like, 4 more people have died in Syria. Like, 3 more bombs went off and blah, blah, blah. Oh my God, that's awful. That sucks. You want to go to Boston Pizza? And just that kind of Western detachment. Yeah. Well, not even Western, just detachment of privilege, really.
Detachment of privilege, and also not understanding action points of what to do.
it's numbing and crippling. And
because that sucks is also, that's true. But it is also well, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
What am I?
Not as if like I don't want to help, but as like, how do I'm just one person. What am I supposed to, where do you start?
And so that was weighing on me, and I couldn't stop thinking about the post, and I couldn't stop thinking about that little boy. And then my partner and I traveled to Europe in November to perform improv and teach improv, and it was really cool. And we left Paris on the day of the shootings. Mm-hmm. And it was weird because we got to Ireland. We went from Paris to Dublin. We were all settled in Dublin, and we started getting texts. I got texts from my friend Nug, from my buddy Andy. They're like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" Mm-hmm. And this is all going down. And it was weird because our flight was canceled, and we were supposed to be in Paris, and the Airbnb we were staying at was in between the bombing and the shooting. And my flight attendant friend, who was in United Arab Emirates at the time, she happened to be on Facebook and said, "Go to the airport. They'll put you on a new flight." Like, we would have just stayed in Paris and had a great time and been there. And then we got to Ireland, and this was all happening, and we were spooked for sure. And then I'm talking about it, and the people in Ireland were like, "It's awful, but like, we grew up with the IRA."
Yeah.
And it really put into perspective, oh, fuck. Canada's really privileged. Like, it's not only privileged, it is really privileged.
Yeah.
So I was obsessing about that and what my agent had posted, and I just kind of went, "Can we do a show?" Because
you did what you know what to do.
I know how to produce a show. I know how to be in a show. I've got super talented friends all across the board for days. Let's do a show. And she's like, "Okay." So Second City graciously
with the hope to raise money.
To raise money, yeah. And awareness, and like talk about these things. And we ended up doing a clothing donation and electronics and whatever. So so we put on a really fun show.
And Second City donated the space for the youth event.
Yeah, Second City donated the space. All the comedians donated their time. No one was paid. And
it was a quality show.
Well, when you have like
I was in pain.
Arthur Simeon. And
my gosh.
Oh my God, they're so funny.
I actually had a headache the day after. No, like from laughing so hard. I was like coming out of their one eye, and I only had 2 drinks, and I was like, "Oh God, my head hurts," because there was just no respite from the hilarity, and it was just a great way to help and give people an opportunity to help, because so often it's like, donate. Like, where is this going? What is this doing? But it was very clear. You guys made it, concise of where this money's going.
Yeah. So there were 2 groups that my agent is now a part of. She started doing work with another group as well. The second group is looking to sponsor a family. And at that point you need $30,000 to $40,000, I think, for a family of 3 to sponsor them, to get them here.
But the first group is called what?
Project Toronto Welcomes.
Okay.
And then I'm going to fudge the name of the second group, but it's based out of the National Yacht Club down on the lakeshore in Toronto.
Okay. And I'll post links of those things as well, and the information at the end of the show.
Yeah, and like people who couldn't attend the show were donating, and we ended up raising over $4,000. So that's $2,000 per group, plus clothing and electronics. Like, the one group, Project Toronto Welcomes Family, is in Jordan right now. I believe it's Jordan, waiting to come here. Like, they've gone through their interviews. We have a fully furnished house. Like, it's wonderful. So that's just more money for them to get established, and like to set up bank accounts, to set up,
life,
like to buy clothes, to
just start from
food.
Yeah.
Like, it just blew my mind. And someone asked me, "Why are you doing this?" I'm like, "Why not? Why? What?"
Yeah.
Like it.
Because I can help.
It's just really, I don't know, it's really frustrating that it's not a, yes, of course. Like, some people are like, "Well, charity begins at home. There's lots of homeless." I'm like, absolutely. You're absolutely right. And, give what you can. But the immediacy of this problem, this situation, is so grave and so instant. And we're starting to get the resources to help these people. So let's show our governments, and let's show our citizens that we want to keep helping these people, and we don't only want it to be for certain things.
Right.
I'm not saying choose this over that. I'm just saying,
no.
Whoever.
And that's not to say that this model doesn't work for you to do hey, it's Christmas, let's do another one for, the scenario of getting people off the streets in Toronto or in the GTA or in at home. That doesn't mean that you're not interested in that.
Of course.
And I know you, and you are. So, I mean, you're interested in helping people.
It was a really emotional experience. I was not drinking for January, and at the end of it, one of my girlfriends just said, I'm buying you a Guinness. I went, okay. Because it was so
Oh, is that what that was? Right at the end of the show?
No.
Seeing you have the Guinness?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you're like, I'm having this Guinness, and I'm like, why is that a thing? But I didn't understand. Oh, I see. Yeah. Let's talk about some goals and your dreams within improv and comedy and acting and doing more of this kind of thing. Maybe if it ends up being a philanthropy type scenario, whatever it is. What are your goals and dreams from here on out?
Oh man,
too many to name.
I want to be. This sounds so stupid. I want to be like so stupid. When I was little, when I realized what fame got people.
I get it. You want to be a mannequin. It's okay.
I want to be a mannequin. Like,
still,
I just want to be Jeff from Today's Special. Is that too much to ask? No, when I realized that people will listen, the system is backwards. People will listen if you have money. People will listen if you have status, as opposed to wisdom or patience or compassion. So I look to Bono, who can be a bit of a douche nozzle, but I love him. I love Bono. I love you too.
New favorite phrase.
I listened to them growing up. Like I still love them avidly. I will fight to the death for them. And I think they're wonderful activists and people. And they were the first kind of role models I had in that kind of sense of, oh yeah, you can use this for good. For sure, put your sunglasses on a private jet if you forget them in Rome and now you're in Dublin. Sure, douche nozzle.
Douche nozzle.
But I'm not saying I wouldn't do the same thing.
If you had the money.
I'd be a jagwagon. That's a Tina Fey special. I did not make that up.
Okay. Well, still funny.
But using, like, getting a reputation for being good at the craft that I do, putting art out into the world, making money at it, that's the fucking dream. And getting enough status in the community where I can put on a show to raise awareness about something and it will work.
Well, you've done that a little bit, haven't you?
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's keep doing it.
Yeah.
I want to just get, like...
So goals to continue that kind of thing.
Continue that kind of thing.
You've done it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And congratulations on that.
Thank you. I thought that someone recognized me after Degrassi went on the Family Channel.
Oh.
I saw someone out of the TTC. They're like, oh my God.
Nelly Furtado? No.
God bless. Nelly Furtado's drunk cousin? Is that you? Kristen Stewart's fat aunt? Is that you? You're ridiculous. I'll send you a picture. I will send you a picture.
Holy shit.
I was coming out of Bathurst Station.
Don't put makeup on when you book an interview with a Second City amazing comedian because your eyes will water too much. So you were coming out of a subway?
Coming out of the subway. He's like, you're that actress. And he looked at me like he knew me. And I was like, holy shit. Is this like a Degrassi or maybe like Odd Squad episodes that I'm in haven't aired yet? So, and like he looked like our age. So I'm like, you probably don't have kids. I don't know. What? And he's like, you're that actress. It's you. And then he pulled the fucking clipboard and asked me for money for the Toronto Humane Society. Suck my dick.
Oh my God. What a...
And I didn't do anything mean, but I just wanted to snap like, check the Family Channel, you asshole. But I didn't.
Yeah.
Instead, I went, not okay, bud. Not okay. Like someone for, I think it was that I Am a Girl, which I also donate to.
Yeah. So do I.
Was like, do you like puppies? I'm like, yeah.
She's like, do you have one that I can
donate to? Brought out the clipboard. I'm like, that's when I lost it. You can insult me and the Canadian fame system all you want, but the minute you lie about having a puppy,
you don't ever bring puppies into this. I don't give a shit
what charity you're from. You are a demon. And I yelled at that man.
Oh wow!
I lost it.
That is too far.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay, so your ultimate dreams are to continue what you're doing, or do you have other...
Acting, writing, doing good.
Thriving.
Yeah.
Not just surviving, thriving.
Yeah, I don't like living from a place of survival anymore. I want...
Comfort is something,
Inspiration is where it's at, and I'll be doing the right thing.
Yeah. How are you going to... how do you feel like you might achieve those goals? Do you have anything in...
No fucking idea.
Well, I have a list.
You gotta hustle.
Gotta hustle. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So are there things more like in life that you wish you could do more of that you don't currently do, and that maybe finding that balance between, doing, hustling, doing the acting gigs and everything that takes to be recognized, and then
I don't
the balance.
Regret anything.
Yeah.
My body doesn't betray me. My body
regrets things.
My body's like, what are you doing? And I don't poop for days. Anyway, no, I don't regret the choices I make. Sometimes they are hard, but I still don't regret them, because if I did, I would have made the wrong choice.
Right.
That being said, there will come a time where Connor and I will have to talk about having kids, or heaven forbid, like our parents get ill or anything like that. Yeah, things will shift. They won't end, but they'll shift a bit. Mm-hmm. Paloma Nunez and Aurora Brown are two Second City people who have kids, and she was in Spotlight. Paloma was in Spotlight, the movie, and Aurora is like an amazing Dora nominated, possibly won. If she hasn't won one, she should. Actress, like, so it's not one or the other. And I think people who aren't in the industry get really foul about it. People who are in the industry are like, yeah, no, of course.
You could do it, yeah.
I do get a lot of, where have you been? And I used to feel guilty, and now I go, I don't know, why aren't you up at 3 having Guinness with me?
Right. Just different lifestyles, just different things.
Yeah. I used to get...
People don't support, or they just don't understand. I find that there's a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to that kind of thing. Oh, you're busy, so I didn't ask you to do anything. But it's like,
it's always nice to be invited.
Right. Your brother taught me that.
I taught him.
Yeah. And I use that now too. Even if I know somebody can't come to something and I know otherwise they would have or whatever, I try to extend the invitation.
Yes.
Because it is always nice to be invited. Even if you have to say, no, sorry, I can't make it. This shit's happening. It's always nice to be invited.
Yes.
I love that. It's very kind.
That's it. I just want kindness and joy to win. Mm-hmm. And it's the long game. It doesn't always happen on the timeline that I want or need. Mm-hmm. But it always happens where you're in your darkest hour and someone that you haven't talked to in years is like, hey, I thought about you for this gig, or I really miss you. I hope you're doing well. What's going on? Yeah. Or whatever it is, kindness wins, love wins. Mm-hmm. And it's fucking hard,
and it saves people, man.
Yeah.
It does. It can come at moments where people are like, I am not in a good place right now. And it's very serendipitous that you messaged me or that you phoned me or whatever. And that's happened more than once in my life where I reach out or someone's reached out to me and I go, wow, this couldn't have been more like needed and better timed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we focus a lot, especially with the internet. Oh, that internet. We focus a lot on the negatives, like, oh, he worth what? She cheated on whom? Like it's all about that shit. And don't get me wrong, I love gossip, but
it serves its place, but it definitely shouldn't be that focus.
Our default shouldn't be the things that we don't have or don't feel we're good at. Mm-hmm. And I think if we slowly train our brains, it's just rewiring.
Yeah.
If we slowly train our brains to reach out and say, I miss you. I got this buddy, Alistair Forbes. I was on main stage with him. He's one of my closest friends. I see him, like, I maybe go for coffee with him 10 times a year. Maybe. But I reach out and I'm like, I miss you. Because he means something to me and he's a great guy. And he'll do the same. And he said once, he was like, I never did that before. I'm like, why?
Oh, really?
He's like, I don't know. I just never did it.
So you kind of brought it out in him?
People don't say that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, but I do miss you. He's like, and I do miss you. So why don't you say it?
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel good that I'm like, oh, someone thought of me. Oh, that's so nice. Or, oh, I want to get together with him and his girlfriend. They're so much fun. I can't because I'm stupid busy, but they thought of me and they invited or they
said hi.
Sent that love in the universe or whatever.
Yeah, called.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So you want to share some of exciting moments, that memorable stage moments that you might have had in your career?
Sure.
Or maybe who you've performed with or opportunities that you've got in between all the Second City success and the roles you've had on TV.
Oh, that's a Mandarin buffet of answers. I'm very fortunate. My friends are very generous. We all work our asses off. Mm-hmm. And kindness wins. So it's like, it's awesome to be around. Like, I was a receptionist at Second City before Main Stage, and I got to perform with John Cleese. The executive producer was like, yeah, you should be an extra in this sketch. So I got to carry his body off stage when he died in a scene. Like, it was the best. It's rolling funeral services and comedy into one day, whatever. No, wonderful things have happened on stage. I've been blessed to work with lots of great performers, both famous or not, or not yet, I should say. One of my favorite times in Dreams Really Do Come True and Other Lies. It was this like Tim Burton-esque creepy vibe throughout the whole thing. So you're a bit on edge, but in a joyous way. So we broke the fourth wall a lot, and we did really, like, we call it cat hands, jungle cat hands, where you like
jungle cat
stir a witch's brew with your hands. I don't know. It was choreography. I don't know. And there was this one, it would be like was the music, right? And on the bas, you struck this pose, and it was lit in such a wonderful way that we all looked like disfigured and like your eyes were playing tricks on you. And Nessa, the lovely redhead there in the cartoon, in one of the bas, she was wearing this beautiful blue dress. She would tip her body over, like as if you're reaching to touch your toes, with her butt to the audience, and her head would come through her dress. So you'd see, but the lighting made it look really strange. So it was like, she farted. Oh my God. She farted.
What?
In the silence and the absence of music. And so then we're all trying to get to our next.
Unfortunate. Or was it intended?
No, she just farted.
I mean,
probably on a cleanse. I don't know. We did Wild Rose cleanse together a lot. Anyway, It was just like, and then from then on out, whenever in the music we're trying to strike these poses, all six of us, our bodies are jiggling because we're laughing so hard.
Did the audience hear it?
Yes! Of course they heard it. The stage is mic'd. They heard her butt. And then... And so this movement drama thing opened the show, and then we're right into the first scene, and like no one can give each other eye contact. Like, oh God, it was amazing.
Definitely a memorable performance.
Then there was a day before opening of Dreams where it was Comic-Con or Fan Expo or one of those like really cool sci-fi stuff. And we had written our show pretty much, and we weren't really tweaking anything. So improv turned back into improv, where you could just have fun and not worry about premises. So we're like, okay, can we get a
this is at a Second City show. You're doing the
whole
Second
City show,
playful part of the
Second City Second City show. We're like, can we get a genre, please? All of a sudden, before anybody yells out anything, we hear torture porn. But Thank
you, the troll in the back.
Well, we all go, huh? Because we all recognize this voice. We're like, huh. It's Robert Englund, who plays Freddy Krueger.
Oh, come on.
Freddy Krueger yelled out torture porn
at your show?
At our show. And then we're like, huh, okay. So
you took it?
Well, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And then we just, we used it for 2 seconds and then turned into something else. But that soundbite will forever be in my head of like torture porn in the safe theater, you know.
Thanks, Freddy Krueger.
Honestly.
What a guy.
What a gem. I got to improvise with Jack McBrayer from 30 Rock. That was pretty cool. And then
Where was that?
That was the Second City. Guests and played the set. Then we went out and we showed him poutine. We went for beers after.
Is he actually from the South? Like, does he have that accent?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's like, thick. Oh, wow. Thank you, guys.
He's like, oh, poutine. Oh, it's like fries and gravy and cheese. Oh, okay. I'm doing a really bad accent right now. But he's like, oh, my cell phone. Oh, who's this? Tina Fey? Oh, Amy Schumer. Oh, you can't see it. No, you can't. And
wow.
And he'd be like really fun and
playful.
Yeah, playful.
Was he a Second City person in the past? Yeah.
Oh, he's an alum. Yeah. I would say something I've learned in my 30s, back to acting, faking, being yourself and doing what you think is funny or clever or challenging or worth it. That is going to book you the roles. There's all that external stuff of like, oh, well, you were thin and you were blonde and you were whatever. That, yeah, sure, you have no control over that. What you do have control over is what you bring into the room. And casting often doesn't know exactly what they're looking for. They think, but someone could come in with
change
a
their
totally
whole,
different look.
Yeah.
because they are themselves and you can see it. So if you are an aspiring actor or writer or anything like that, doing what you want to do and not what you think people want you to do will make all the difference. You'll book stuff. You'll be happier with your work. And you won't be faking it. That's the bad kind of faking.
Yeah.
Because you start to lose yourself and you're like, well,
that's not taking an opportunity. That's just, doing the wrong thing. That's not genuine.
Yes. And you're like, if only I was thinner, I'd book it. No.
Go in anyways.
Yeah. Or if only I was this, I would have booked it. No, that's lies. Like
you're auditioning for the wrong roles.
It's faking your reality.
Right.
What it is you just got to be you. Like they'll book what they book and whatever. You have no control over that. But just, making choices that resonate with your own voice and learning forever what that is, I think, is a good way to not fake it through life, because that's probably the one thing you don't want to fake.
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think about in the way of education? Because I've had a variety of different guests on that, there are some people who are not practiced in certain things and become super successful, and other people who I'd probably be in this category that, like myself, I'd needed education in my art. So I needed education in film to actually be like, yeah, I can do this, or I'm good at this, or given clear direction so that I could actually complete things and not just I like film and then never go to school. I went to school and got that experience. Yeah. So what would you say about acting's one of those things that sometimes you're just really good at it. Sometimes people need the education, but would you suggest somebody who's graduating high school go into a typical acting program? Because you had both things happen. You went to a university program and this is bullshit, and in your opinion, and you went to a college program and it was the tits for you. So what do you think? I think as long as you're listening to your truth, it doesn't matter. Yeah. You make it what it is. Oh, Cindy Crawford was selling apples on the side of the road or something, and someone saw her, and sometimes that happens. If you're relying on that to happen, you're disillusioned. You have to do the hard work, and whether that means listening to your voice and being like, I'm going to keep at this no matter how many no's I hear, or taking the classes because you know that you're more oriented. I teach at Second City, but I still take classes at Second City. Right. Because even though I've done that program, and I take classes all over, like Bad Dog and Comedy Bar and all over Europe, and you can never stop learning. Yeah. And even if you're doing the exact same exercise every single time with different people, even with the same people, depending on their mood, is going to be different. So I think always being curious for anything, for knowledge and experience is going to serve you. And I think thinking that you've got it figured out, you could just fuck off, get out of my way. I don't have time for another person to be like, oh, they don't know what they're missing. They don't know what they're missing in me. And I go, do you know what you're missing right now as far as social etiquette and tact? Because you don't sound great. I'm being judgy. No, you probably see a lot of that though. People who maybe aren't doing the work or finding who they really are and going for the not proper roles. But I think there's something to be said about being honest with yourself about certain things. I never thought that I would be the ingenue, but in musicals I could pull it off if it was a character. So I was like, maybe I can. Maybe if I just shed 20, 30 pounds, I'll be an ingenue on TV. No, it would have to be 100 pounds and half of my ribs based on current standards. That's not okay with me. No. And so I started to embrace the darkness a bit and chase the things. I was like, I don't know. I said today on set with Karen Parker, who I love. I was like, which bitch, villain, nerd? Kind of my hit right now, and I am loving it. It's awesome. And I'm not worried about, I'm not Hollywood pretty, and I'm not that. I don't care. I'm having the best time, and I feel beautiful, and I'm not you grotesque. Should feel well, of course not a gargoyle or anything. No, but yeah, we can't let those types of things that right. the way that people are casting to actually put an impression on you and making you think. I mean, that's what it does to people. It makes them think that they are gargoyles, but change. You're absolutely happening. Not. It is happening. It is definitely happening. You see people of all different sizes, all different backgrounds, all different points of view. You're seeing more people of color on TV, which I fucking love. You're seeing
commercials are starting to pick up on it too, because one of my part-time jobs is commercial casting. They're like, sometimes you're getting those same-sex couples in there. And I'm like, yes. And why not? Why wouldn't we?
Because it's society, and you don't like. It doesn't make sense not to show these things.
Always stir the pot.
Not everybody is a straight white person.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Surprise.
Wait. What?
What? What do you mean?
And they're not. I want to say to people, don't give up on your dreams, despite the fact that sounds cliche.
Yeah.
What I do want to also add as an addendum is check in with yourself on what your dreams really are.
Yeah.
If you thought your whole life that you were going to be an actor and then you did something else, you can go back to it if that's truly what you want. But if it's what you think you want, or like if I never feel like a fraud being an actor. I feel like a fraud because I didn't have confidence in myself. Mm-hmm. Writing and acting makes sense to me. It's true. I would rather be doing 12 shitty part-time jobs, piecing it all together so I could facilitate acting, instructing, and writing. Because that sounds so wanky. That's my truth. But I've tried not doing it.
Other things.
And it's awful. But checking with myself and going, are you sure? I'd be great working at a 7-Eleven. I would be great running a Fortune 500 company. I'd be great at tons of things because I commit to whatever I'm doing. That gets tricky too, where you're like, is this what I should be doing? Mm-hmm. Or is this, do I like this because it's this? Or do I like this because,
it's new and it's whatever. Yeah.
So constantly realigning yourself with what your dreams and goals are, I think will help you chase your dreams the best.
Mm-hmm.
And accepting that changes. Yeah.
And listening to yourself too.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're telling yourself mostly like, oh, I'm doing this, but I kind of want to be doing that. But I'm making more money at this. And, you're always having that internal conversation.
Always. Never in a million years would I be like, yeah, I'm a writer. Post Second City, the majority of my jobs have been writing for television.
Yeah.
Or custom scripts for people or punch-ups or whatever. So I'm sitting here going, oh, who did I listen to along the way who said, she's just not a writer. She's a great actor, not a writer. I can name 3 of them. I won't name them on air, but, well, guess what? I'm paying my rent and then some by writing. So
I'm a writer.
But I was like, maybe I could just be a writer. No, I miss acting too much.
Fair enough. Listen to that little voice then. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Well, I want to thank you for coming on.
Are you kidding? Thank you so much for having me.
And for sharing all this great stuff. And keep doing what you're doing because I like watching you.
Oh my God.
It's all about me, and you're beautiful inside and out. And I hope that you do everything that you want to do because you have a lot of good ideas and great things going on. So
thank you.
All the power to you, sister.
So I produce a show and I'm in a show called Live Journal every
Yep.
There's a show called Live Journal every first Thursday of the month at Bad Dog Theatre in Toronto, 9:30 p.m., $10. It's a lot of fun. People read their real life journals from when they were kids or teenagers, and we improvise using that material. Past guests have included Lara Jean Korostecki from Hannibal and X Company, Christian Brune from Orphan Black, David Benjamin Tomlinson from the theater scene. He's hilarious. That's a really fun show to check out. I'm also involved with the Toronto Sketch Comedy Festival that runs this March from the 3rd to the 13th at the Theatre Centre and Comedy Bar, showcasing the top North American talent. They're hilarious. CBC's This Is That is one of our headliners. I'm really excited about that. I teach and perform at Second City in their corporate world and at the training center and at Bad Dog as well. My Twitter handle is at Ashley Comeau, ASHLEYCOMEAU. And I also have at Lusty Mannequins, which is my sketch and improv duo with my partner Connor Thompson. That's spelt the way those words sound. We tour North America and Europe teaching and performing improv and sketch together. And we're both Second City alum, which is pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
I just farted. I'm so sorry.
A big, huge thanks to Ashley Comeau for always making myself and so many other people laugh all the damn time. I encourage you all to check her out on Twitter at Ashley Comeau. And also you can find her improv group there as well, the Lusty Mannequins at Lusty Mannequins. And you can watch Degrassi Next Class on the Family Channel in Canada and on Netflix in the US. Keep an eye on Ashley, guys. She's going to be kicking some major ass and you'll want to know about it. Check us out on Twitter at Faking It Podcast, find us on Facebook, and contribute to our blog at www.fakingitpodcast.com. Talk to you in 2 weeks, ya fakers.